Hey everyone, today we're going to walk through a yoga and strength session, mainly working on the core and the hips. I go through this session quite often because the core is important for bike stability, run stability, holding form in the water, and just throughout the triathlon. And then I tend to have weak hips, like a lot of triathletes, through the back and the front. So we're working on maintaining some extension and strengthening up the muscles we don't always use. So we're going to start off on our back, just to warm up, and just windshield wiper the legs back and forth. We're going to go through mainly all dynamic movements in this session and save the isometrics for another day. So to warm up our backside, our back muscles, glutes especially, just going to do some hip raises, some bridges. If you want to add this in and make it more challenging to warm up, do it single legged. And then the next progression to that is either putting your back on a medicine ball or another raised surface like a couch. So to get back up, just going to do some rolls on the back, massage the back out, come up to a seated position and just circle everything out, just a few circles in either direction, warming up the trunk and the core. And then starting in child's pose, coming all the way forward and up into cobra, and back. Warming up, and then from here, going into downward dog, and 5 to 10 reps, like all the others. Downward dog into plank. Hold. Hold. First core exercise, everybody knows the plank, but to work on our hip extension and our glute med muscles, we're going to lift the leg as far as your hips will allow, and then set it back down quietly. Take care not to bend the knee or overextend. You're just letting yourself kick up as far as you can naturally extend. And we'll do that a total of 15 times each leg. This exercise is a side plank, up on the side. This exercise is a side plank, up on the side, and you're gonna put your foot just slightly back and kick up. Straight leg, toes can be flexed, working the glute med, 15 times. And once you hit 15, you can do some dips to work the other half and work your obliques, your other side of the core. I like to connect them and just switch to straight to the other side, get in all the reps. On either, so that you keep working. And I'll even roll into another set right into the planks, kicking the legs. So all of those exercises work the core, work the glute med, work on some hip extension, so you're working the front and the back. So on to the next one. This one could be relatively new. It's a little bit more of a dynamic exercise. It's called a dead bug. On your back, legs and arms up like a dead bug, and you'll alternate. So left leg out, right leg out. Right leg out, left arm out, so you're like a dead bug. Bring it back up. Opposites. All the way down, all the way up. The progression to this is if you're at home and you have a yellow band on the feet, Still opposites. We're working core, hip flexors, all of that. Making sure that your back down here too doesn't arch up, that the core stays activated and the back stays flat against. And then the next progression after this is if you have a set of arm bands, you can be holding on and the bands will be attached to something in that direction and it'll be pulling you backwards. So depending on your setup, you can work that progression. This next one is best done on an elevated surface. I have this medicine ball right here that I can use. But if you don't have this, you can always use a chair or couch or anything like that. So these are hip explosions, working a bit of core, but mainly it's working on getting your hip up toward the ball. So I like to do them two separate ways, is working on one at a time, like this, and really focusing on getting the hip all the way up. And then I also sometimes, just to work on core, do it like a mountain climber, back and forth. Kind of works both, gets the core, gets the hip flexors. And then for the last one, to end it all, to work the hamstrings, which work into the glutes. If you have a ball, you can work the hamstring exercise by just pulling the ball in, back and forth with both legs, or just with one leg on either side. Every exercise we do, 10 to 15 reps. Just working on strengthening everything. And for me, the posterior chain on the back side is always really important because a lot of the exercises we do already work the quads quite a bit. So just some stuff here to work some of those muscles that we might not usually work and just strengthen the core. So working on the small things in this video. So thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned, subscribe, and we'll get more videos out that work isometric exercises and some other strength and yoga activities that I will do to stay fit and just to stay injury free.